Hello everyone. Now your next topic is status and instruction register. In last lecture we have discussed flag register, and in flag register we have seen so many bits and functionality of the bits like carry flag bit, auxiliary flag bit, zero flag bit, sign flag, trap flag, resume flag, virtual mode. The main important thing was of flag register is what is the difference between 80386 flag register and 8086 flag register. So and this type of question asked so many times in SPPU question paper. So the main difference between 8086 flag register and 80386 flag register is resume flag bit and virtual mode bit, means RF bit and VM bit. So these two bits are additional in 80386 flag register. Remaining bits are same and the functionality also same of 8086 flag register and 80386 flag register. So this is these are the additional bit in 80386 flag register, resume flag bit and virtual mode bit. And we have seen the functionality of resume flag bit. If the RF bit is 0, in that case your debug exception will be entertained, otherwise it will be in a disable mode. And virtual mode bit is 1, in that case you will switch from protected mode to virtual mode, otherwise you are unable to switching between protected mode and virtual mode. So these are the two bits, and these bits are different from the 8086 flag register and 80386 flag register. Now we will discuss in this lecture status and instructions registers. So 6 segments of memory may be immediately accessible to an executing 80386 program. The segment register CS, DS, SS, ES, FS and GS are used to identify these 6 current segments. So in this point basically we want to indicate that these segment register we can access without any restriction, means these are accessible in a real mode also or in a protected mode also. Means and we have seen this thing like in protected mode we can use every instruction and we can use the full features of 80386 in a protected mode, and we have some restriction in a real mode. So these are the register, and this register we can access in any mode. So these register are code segment, data segment, stack segment, extra segment, FS and GS. So these are the extra segment. ES, FS and GS are used to identify these 6 current segment. Each of these registers specify a particular kind of segment as characterized by the associated mnemonics, code, data or stack. So in this point what we wanted to say that the mnemonics like code, data or stack. So by using these mnemonics we can easily identify the segments, and segments basically related to particular register like code register, data register, stack register, extra registers. Now in a code register you can see module A, stack, data structure, module A, data structure, data structure. So code segment, stack segment and data segment and extra segment. So here you can see that code segment, code module related to code segment register, stack module related to the stack segment register, data structure related to the data segment registers, and extra segment related to the ES, FS and GS registers. So code segment, what is that? The segment containing the currently executing sequence of instruction is known as a current code segment. The 80386 fetches all instruction from this code segment using as an offset the content of the instruction pointer. Means the code segment register contains the information about the currently executing task. So whatever application is running right now, the information related to that application contained into the code segment register. Your next registers are stack segment register. So stack segment register contain the information related to subroutine calls, parameters and procedure activation records usually required to allocate memory as a stack, and all stack operation use the stack segment register to locate the stack. So what we do in a stack segment register, whenever you perform any task and when you switch from one task to another task, in that case if your current execution task is not complete and you will switch to next task, in that case you will store the information and status of your task, currently executing task, into the stack. Then you will switch to the next task, and if you complete your next task, then you will again come back to the previous task. So in that case you will fetch the address from the stack to come on the previous task. So this thing related to the stack segment register. So this type of information basically we save into the stack segment register. And data register. The data segment, extra segment, DS, ES, FS and GS registers allow the specification of 4 data segments. Access different type of data structures, current code module, exported data, dynamically created data, structure and data shared with another task. So this type of information basically we save into the data segment register. Then now we will discuss some hidden register, because these register are general registers, and these register basically same into the 80386 processor also, but some hidden register, special register in 80386 now we will discuss. So first one is a control register. The 80386 has 4 32-bit control register CR0, CR1, CR2 and CR3 to hold global machine status. CR1 is not used in 386 and reserved for future use. Load and store instruction are available to access these registers. What does that mean? In a 80386 processor basically contain 4 type of control register, CR0 to CR3, and CR1 is not used by the processor 80386, but it reserved for the future use. Means this register is available but not usable by the 80386 processor. And load and store instruction. So these are the privilege instruction basically we are using to access these registers. We cannot use these register without checking a privilege level, and we have discussed privilege level thing in previous lecture also. So these instruction are a privilege instruction. Before executing this instruction, we have to check the privilege level of the calling process. If the privilege level of the calling process is higher, in that case only we can execute this instruction. The same thing happened in IFLAG register when we discuss IOPL bit in a IFLAG register. IOPL is also a sensitive instruction, means we have to check the privilege level of the calling procedure, then we can execute the input output instruction, otherwise we cannot execute input output instruction. So load and store instruction basically we are using for accessing these control register, but these are a privilege instruction, so we have to check the privilege level first, and after that we can execute these instruction. So this is the structure of control register from CR0 to CR3. In CR0 to CR3 you can see the bits. Some bits are reserved and we will discuss one by one. So first we will discuss CR0 register. In CR0 register you can see PE bit, MP bit, EM bit, TS bit, extension, type bit. Then NE, WP or AM, NW and CD. These bits basically are reserved and we will not use we will not discuss into 80386 task. We will discuss only P bit, that is protection enable bit, MP bit, that is math processor bit, EM bit, emulate bit, TS related to task switching, ET related to extension type, and PG related to the address translation mechanism for paging. So these bits we will discuss into CR0 register. Then CR1 is reserved, CR2 we are using for the page fault linear address register, and CR3 we will use as a page directory base address register. So what we will discuss into control register? In CR0 register we will discuss protection enable bit, first one, second MP bit, math processor bit, third one emulate bit, then task switching bit, then extension type bit, and now last one is a PG bit. In CR1 it is reserved for future use. We will not discuss into 80386 processor. CR2 is a page fault linear address register and CR3 is your page directory base address register. Then system address register. The 80386 support 4 type of descriptor table: global descriptor table, local descriptor table, interrupt descriptor table, task state segment descriptor. So these are the 4 type of descriptor which support by 386. 4 special register is defined to hold the base address of this table. So for this table we will use particular register for containing the information related to the base address of this table and size of this table. So global descriptor table base address information and size of this table contained into the global descriptor table register. Same thing happened with LDT, IDT and task state segment register. LDT related base address and table size information we will contain into LDTR register, local descriptor table register. IDT information contained in IDTR register, interrupt descriptor table register and task state segment descriptor. Task switching related information basically we contain into task state segment descriptor, and task state segment descriptor base address and limit means size of the table information contained into the task register. Now debug registers. Debug register we will discuss later into another lecture deeply: control register, debug register, global descriptor table, etc. But now in this unit we are discussing what type of hidden register or special register basically contained by 80386. So that's why we will not discuss in deeply. We will discuss in next lecture control register, debug register, every bit we will discuss into the next lecture. But if you have seen previous lecture, so in previous lecture you will notice control register 0 we have discussed, control register 3 we have also discussed in a page translation mechanism. So every register we have discussed in previous lectures. Debug register we have also discussed in previous lecture, but again we will revise these registers in next lecture also. So debug registers. Intel has provided a set of 8 debug registers for hardware debugging. Means 80386 have 8 debug registers DR0 to DR7. DR4 and DR5 are Intel reserve registers. The initial 4 register DR0 to DR3 store 4 program controllable breakpoint addresses. DR6 and DR7 respectively hold breakpoint status and breakpoint control information. So basically DR0 to DR3 these registers contain the information about the linear breakpoint address conditions, and DR6 and DR7 we will use for the breakpoint status and control information. So these are your register. DR0 to DR3 you will use into linear breakpoint address condition, and DR6 you are using for the status, and DR7 you are use for the control information. Then test register. So 2 test register basically you are using in 80386 processor for page caching, namely test control and test status register, means TR6 and TR7 register. These register basically we will use for the TLB testing, and TLB we have discussed in unit 5. TLB means translation look aside buffer. TLB we are using for reducing our access time of the data. Means whenever you save data into TLB, in that case your processor will access the data easily and in minimum time, because if you are accessing the data again and again from the main memory, then you will take more time. Your main memory size is a 4 GB. So whenever you wanted to access any data from the main memory, in that case you have to access 4 GB memory. But if you save some information in cache or in TLB, in that case, because TLB size is small and only important data or frequently executing pages you will save into TLB. If you are using this type of pages into TLB, then processor first check the TLB, and after that if it not find something from TLB, then it will look main memory. So like that we will reduce the access time of your page accessing or reduce the execution time by this thing. So for this TLB testing we are using 2 test register, TR6 and TR7 register. Then this is another topic. It is an instruction format and address related to addressing mode. So this topic basically we will discuss into next lecture. Addressing mode means immediate addressing mode, data addressing mode, direct addressing mode, indirect addressing mode, register addressing mode. So these addressing mode we will discuss into next lecture. Thank you.